Okay, so Venkat, I will just share a screen.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and then we will talk about that. So just tell me when you're able to see the screen.
Yeah, Jason, tell me about yourself.
Okay, so the session is being recorded. So this is basically a personality development and yeah, improving yourself and focusing on your career session. So Venkat, the first thing, the first rule of this training of this program will be that we will speak in English only. Okay,
Okay,
so there is no compromise on that. We must use only English and we will speak clearly. Okay, because normally what happens, Indian languages are not spoken with clarity. Okay, so normally how they speak English is they open their mouth and speak. Okay, but if you can speak, if you want to speak in Telugu, you don't have to really open your mouth. You can just keep your lips closed and you can just speak normally. But English should not be spoken like that. English should always be spoken with your mouth wide open. So when I say open, you must actually round your lips and like say open. So openly you must speak. You must articulate clearly. Okay, so Indian languages normally you don't need to articulate. We swallow so many words and people can still manage to understand. But English, we must ensure that we articulate every word that we speak in our sentence. It has to be articulated clearly. Okay, so the first rule is speaking in English, because if you don't speak in English, the practice won't come. Eventually there will be communication problems, and sometimes we blabber and things like that. So rule number one from now on is that you will speak to me in English. At the same time you will speak to your wife also in English. Speak to Goody in English. You are speaking to Swojas already in English. But if you start speaking to your wife in English, it greatly enhances your communication then and there. It gives you great confidence. It helps you frame your sentences clearly, so that when you go for an interview, or if you're talking to clients, if you're talking to stakeholders, it will be very easy. It will come naturally to you. So if you are only speaking to some people in office, all those things, it just won't work out. So make it a conscious effort to speak to your wife in English, because you have that option, right? So you don't have that option to speak to your parents. You have to speak in mother tongue, because that's why it's called a mother tongue, right? So you always speak to the mother and father in their own language. But see, if you have an option to speak your wife, your children, your sister in English, please go ahead with that. There is absolutely no shame in that. Okay, so even whether you are in public, whether you are anywhere, make sure that you speak to your wife in English. So even you have to convince her to kind of go ahead and cooperate on this, because it will help both sides, not only you, but it will help Goody also to
yeah,
develop her communication skills and boost her confidence as well. Okay, so you don't have to make a note of all the pointers that I'm telling. So this is just a prerequisite.
yeah,
So tell me about yourself. We'll come back to that later. But I'm just setting up some ground rules, for this program. So this program will be for 10 days. So in 10 days, every day we will sit for 1 hour or so, and we will cover a lot of things that we can do. Okay, so this will be a radical change for you, Venkat. So you must kill the old Venkat in you, and you must become a new Venkat. Okay, so that is the only way to progress in your career. So if you keep thinking that you're that previously the past person, it is not going to work. So kill that person in you so that you can become a new person from now on. Complete focus, okay, and start talking in English at home whenever possible. You don't have to use your mother tongue at all. Okay, that is one thing.
Okay.
Second thing is you must completely cut off Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, whatever it is, whatever your entertainment is, you must completely cut that off because it is of absolutely no use, right? So you're just getting some entertainment by watching certain movies, but it is just taking away your precious time which you can actually utilize to learn something. Okay, because you are giving your best for 8 hours a day, working there whole day, and coming home, you must see learning as entertainment, because once you start learning there is no end to it. You can just keep on accumulating more and more and more information, right? So knowledge increases with information, right? So knowledge is something that you cannot gather and store it, right? So you can only gather and store information. So the more information you store, the more you learn and the more knowledgeable you become, right? So when you speak, automatically a person will know, this person is speaking and he has good amount of knowledge. For example, Shashi Tharoor, okay, so if you see him speaking, you will know that this guy knows a lot of stuff, right? In fact, he doesn't know much, but the way he can articulate and communicate things, people will say that okay, this guy is very knowledgeable. Okay, so the moment you quit on all those entertainment stuff and make learning your entertainment. Okay, so every day when you come, you just kind of go through what we teach, what I teach in this program, and you have to practice and practice and practice a lot. Okay, so that is the second thing. All right, now the third thing that I want to do is never ever be ashamed of yourself, because everyone does mistakes, right? And nobody can say that I am perfect. Nobody, right? Only God is perfect, or all else are they are just flesh, right? Everyone in the world, we are just flesh, right? So there is only certain amount of information or knowledge that we can get. We cannot get all the information, right? So there will always be so sometime that you might make a mistake, and when somebody is correcting you, never show attitude. Okay, so that is the most important thing, because normally what happens when someone tells us, hey, this is not right, this is correct, your sentence, your grammar is not right, this is the correct way to say it, smile at them and you learn that. Okay, so if normally what happens in India, this is the problem in India, who are you to tell me, I know everything. That attitude is there in everybody. Okay, so let us set that aside and focus on knowledge enhancement, a complete transformation of your character, complete transformation of Venkat as a person. Okay, so that transformation has to happen, which means you must have a learning mindset. So when does learning stop? It never stops. It stops with our death, because until the last day of our life we can continue to learn something or the other, right? So there is no end to what we learn, right? So if someone is helping you, let them help, right? It is just words. What they are giving you is just words. They are not hurting you in any way. They are not stealing something from you. It is just words, right? So words are just coming out in the air. So let them say whatever they want, and there is always a learning for us in everything. If you are failing in something, failure is good, because failure teaches you 100 things. If you are getting disappointed, it is good, because disappointment gives you an experience, right? So bad things also happen for a reason, and we must take it as a learning so that we can improve, right? So never panic, never be nervous, never be ashamed of anything. Okay, so those were the few ground rules that I wanted you to know. Now let us move on to the first and foremost question that will be asked in an interview. Okay, so basically what we will do here, Venkat, is that we will for the next 10 days prepare you for the interview. Okay, because the most important thing is to crack the interview. So the interviewer should see you as in a probable candidate. They should feel that yes, this is the person that I'm looking for. Okay, so let us focus on the interview, and then it will automatically help you develop yourself. Because if we generally focus on personality development and learning a lot of things, it will be of no use, right? So let this complete 10-day program will be based on cracking that interview questions. And at the same time, when you learn for these interview questions, it will also help you develop yourself and also learn. Okay, so when I said tell me about yourself, this is the most crucial and important question of the interview, because the first 2 minutes or the first 3 minutes of the interview, the moment you open your mouth and start using the words, that is when the interviewer will know whether you are the right candidate or not. Okay, 80% of the impression is from this particular question, and almost 99% of the candidates get this wrong. Okay, so tell me about yourself means this is something that you will have to kind of learn, and you will have to mug up every day, because like I said, this is very crucial and you only have one shot. You don't get a second chance at tell me about yourself. Okay, so when I ask you a question, tell me about yourself, the first thing you must do is never start by telling about yourself, because everything is there in the resume. You don't have to start. So the first thing you do is you appreciate the panel. Okay, so you tell them, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad to discuss my candidacy with you. I truly appreciate your time. So these are the powerful statements that you can use to begin the interview, right? You are appreciating whoever is in the panel because they are listening to you. They have you in that panel, right? So that gives you a first impression right there, right? So everyone likes to be appreciated, right? So no matter what you're doing, if someone comes and tells you you're doing a great job and thank you, I appreciate it, when you use those words, it automatically impresses me. I'm already impressed. Hey, thank you. Hey, you're welcome. So you start by appreciating the panel, right? Now, when they ask you about tell me about yourself, after appreciating the panel, do not tell them about yourself. Okay, so this is the biggest mistake that people do. So what they do is they say, hey, my name is Venkat, I am born in Andhra Pradesh, I am working in this, my place of birth is this, my parents' name is this, I have wife, kids. So all these things they don't need to know, right? So when I say tell me about yourself, it doesn't mean that you tell me everything about yourself. That is immaterial to me. So I don't need to know what you are, where you are from, which college did you go. All that is garbage. I don't need to know, right? So tell me about yourself means what is that you bring to the table, right? What value can you add to this position, right? What is your ability to solve problems? So these are the things that an interviewer is looking at. So always remember what is in it for them. So what is that you are offering to the interviewer, right? So
ఆగండి తేజు ఫోన్ చేస్తుంది.
okay.
తేజు చెప్పు. స్టార్ట్ అయింది, జాయిన్ అవ్వు. పంపించాను చూడు.
Okay, so the concern is where you're not able to address a forum, you have that thought flow, but sometimes you get nervous. So there is a secret for this, Venkat, and not many people know about this secret. And people who have know about this secret of speaking in a forum, speaking in a meeting, making a presentation or public speaking, there is a secret, and the secret is very simple. Okay, what you must do is take deep breath. Okay, not once but throughout the meeting you must continue to take deep breath. So when you take a deep breath, automatically the nervousness goes away, because biologically that's what happens in our body. When you are hold on one second. Okay, so what I was saying is, so you must try this next time. Okay, so deep breathe, constantly long breath as long as possible. That is the most important thing. That is the only trick. There is no other trick. Okay, so there is no other alternative to not going into panic mode or not getting nervous at public speaking or forum presentation. So if you continues to deep breathe, take deep breaths constantly instead of normal breath, you are intaking more oxygen. When you intake more oxygen, the blood gets more oxygen. When blood gets more oxygen, when the blood flows to your brain gets more oxygen. So the more oxygen you get in your body, you will lose that nervousness. The thought flow will automatically come into your mouth, and you will that will translate into words. Okay, so try this next time of having deep breathe all the time. Even if you're not in a forum also, just while talking, taking deep breath and then talking to somebody will also help you get rid of that nervousness. Okay. All right, so coming back to tell me about yourself. So those were the things. It is not about where you were born and brought up, about all those things, right? So first thing is, you must present yourself in such a way that what is that value that you bring it onto the table. All right, and you can probably use a success story in tell me about yourself, because everybody likes story, whether it is a little boy, whether it is a middle-aged person, old person, everybody, right? So we need to understand the story so that that is entertainment. So even why we watch movies, if it is just blind action or comedy, we don't watch. We want to watch a movie because it gives you a story, right? So everybody loves a story. So try to incorporate a small story in your tell me about yourself question, the story which tells you about your skill set, the story that tells you how you solved a problem, how you kind of helped clients or people, and things like that. So a simple story which showcases all this skill set, and that story should be related to your job description. Okay, so basically you can say that I'm good at all this, and once you explain this, at the end of the tell me about yourself, always ask a question, right? So you tell them that, okay, I'm good at all this, I have this particular skill set, I have some 18-20 years of experience, I have done this, I have done this project, and I have this kind of skills that I will help your company. Is this the kind of candidate are you looking for, right? So normally what happens is the interviewer takes the interviewee for a ride. Don't let them take you for a ride. Your self-respect is very, very important. Don't sell yourself in the interview, right? When you ask a question like that, after presenting yourself, when you cross question the interviewer, sir, this is what the person I am, is this the kind of person that you're looking for this particular job description, or is this the portfolio that you're looking in a person for this particular job description? So when you ask this kind of a question, you're in control, right? So you kind of take the control on the interview, and you manage it more effectively. So that is very important. And the next thing, Venkat, is tell me about yourself. You can, every day when you wake up, you can stand in front of the mirror and you can mug up, and you can Keep saying it many times. Practice it like 100 times so that in an interview it comes naturally. Okay, so now what I have done for you is I have made a small script. Okay, so this script is for tell me about yourself. Okay, and this script I want you to mug up what you see on the screen, learn it, say it again and again repeatedly 100 times. It doesn't matter, because it should be in your mouth. Even if I wake you up in the middle of the night and if I ask you this, you should be able to answer this. Okay, so let me read, Venkat. So tell me about yourself. Thank you. My name is Venkatesh, and I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here with you and discuss my candidacy for this job. Sir, ma'am, I truly appreciate your time. Sir, to begin with, I have an overall experience of 20 years in the field of pharmaceuticals, and I believe that in all these years, I have acquired certain skills and qualities that has helped me gain immense knowledge that is required to complete the projects in hand. I have met so many wonderful colleagues and made so many friends in the industry, and with God's grace, I got to learn a lot from my friends and colleagues. So this experience of working with people from various backgrounds has helped me gel well with everyone in the organization and work as a team. I believe in using ideas and creativity to help the business grow while offering excellent services to our customers and stakeholders. Outside of office, I would like to cook and keep myself fit and active. I have a growth mindset and a positive attitude. I embrace changes and I always accept challenges. I have a habit of taking full responsibility of my work, which I believe is required for my personal development. Okay, so let us break this down little by little. Pointer options, laser point. Okay, so first, thank you, right? So thank you is the most courteous thing that you can use. Then the only thing you will say is about your name. My name is Venkatesh, and then you are thanking the panel, right? Straight away you are thanking the panel. I truly appreciate your time, or whatever words you want to use, you appreciate the panel. The very next thing that you will do is present yourself, right? You must never talk about your education, that is not needed. Which college you went, not needed. Straight away your top skill set, which is your experience. Your experience is your strong fort. That is what you have in hand, right? It is something that not everyone can have. So you start by saying you have an overall experience of 20 years in the field of pharmaceuticals. So when they hear that word, right, 20 years, immediately they will understand that, okay, this person is immense. He is strong. So that numbers, that keywords that you highlight, that you stress on, 20 years, pharmaceuticals, you're stressing on your experience. So here you can add certain things like what your specific area of expertise is. For example, if you want to get into IT, right? So you want to get into lab management, and let's say you have applied for that post. So in order to apply for that lab management, you should first understand the basics of lab, about inventory and all those things, right? So anybody can sit in front of the computer, they can learn the software and they can manage it, right? That is not a big thing, but you have that experience of the actual portfolio of what is done in the lab, and that you are combining it with some of the IT knowledge that you might have. So that makes you a very good probable candidate to go ahead into IT, right? So IT is not like programming or testing or coding or anything. So it has to be within your own field of expertise, within your own field of pharma, and combine it with the software knowledge of that lab. So with that you can probably present yourself. So I have experience in ABC, which means I will automatically be good in C, D and E, right? For example, if you say I have 20 years of experience in driving a car, that means you can definitely learn how to drive a bus or how to drive a truck, right? So you might not have that experience to drive a truck or drive a bus because you have never worked in that, okay, but you have similar experience. You have an experience of driving a car, which means you know what is a steering, what is a gear shift, all those things you know very well, right? So correlate that with something that you can learn, okay. So here you are saying that you have that skills and you have acquired certain skills, and with that you have immense knowledge of what is required to get the job done, okay. So this portion right here until this projects in hand, it tells you about your technicalities. What is the technical experience that you have and the skill set that you have which nobody has, okay. So the academic knowledge that you have about the product portfolio, so you speak about that here. The next line, Venkat, this is very important. I have met so many wonderful colleagues and made many friends in the industry, okay. So why this word is because they must know that you are a people friendly person, right? So this tells them that you appreciate your colleagues. This tells them that you are a team player, okay. This tells them that you will never complain about others. This tells them that you will respect your colleagues, respect women, respect managers, respect the company policies, all those things, right? So when you say when you are appreciating your friends, you are appreciating your colleagues who helped you, right? So it is impossible for us to work alone. At some point of time we would need to understand certain things. We might not know something, we immediately call our colleagues and ask them, right? So working together is how we learn things, and you must be very clear in articulating that, right? So I have met so many wonderful colleagues and made many friends in the industry. So this tells you that you are a people friendly person. And then it says, with God's grace I got to learn a lot from my friends and colleagues. So you are not self boasting, right? There are many people who say that I learned this on my own, I studied this on my own, right? I went to a course and I did this on my own. That's how I have all this knowledge. That's how I became a perfectionist. No, wrong. So here you truly appreciate people who helped you on the way. Whether they did or not, that is secondary, right? So you're saying, with God's grace I got to learn a lot, which means it shows that you believe in God, okay. You're religious. That is also portraying that you're a good person, okay. So you also believe, you're also an intellectual, right? You have family values and all those things. So when you say God's grace I got to learn, that means you're automatically appreciating people. So till here it gives the interviewer a perception about you that you have skills, and at the same time you are a people friendly person. The next, this experience of working with people from various background. So here again you're telling them that you are not only worked with people from Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka, you have worked with people from various backgrounds, whether someone from Delhi, someone from Mumbai, someone from Rajasthan, all over India, different kinds of people, varieties of people I have worked with, and this has helped me gel well with everyone in the organization and work as a team, okay. So you are giving more information about your ability to work with people. So the interviewer immediately gets a perception that, okay, this is the guy that I want. This is the guy who will work with my people. This is the guy who will never complain. This is the guy who is easily trainable, right? So that's the impression that you're giving there. The next line is, I believe in using ideas and creativity to help the business grow and offering excellent services to our customers and stakeholders. So you are also presenting yourself saying that you believe in ideas, you believe in creativity, right? So you're not doing a clerical job, right? So this is the industry that requires you to come up with ideas, come up with changes, be very creative on a daily basis, okay. So you're telling that you believe in ideas and creativity, which means you are not just doing a data entry job, but you will always contribute for a change, always contribute for the business to grow, right? So when you're saying I am offering services for the business to grow, the interviewer will think that, okay, this guy is talking about business, right? So ultimately everything drills down to money. So your services should ensure that the company makes money. If the company is not making money, then they are paying you for nothing, right? So they must understand that you are a business minded person as well. You are a person who believe in providing a good service to the customer, because not necessarily you will speak to customers. Everyone becomes your customer. For example, if someone comes to you and asks you for help, they become your customer. So now I am teaching you this course, right? So now you are not my brother-in-law, you are my customer. So I have to provide a service to the customer. So whoever comes to you is a customer. And who is a stakeholder? Stakeholder is someone who holds the stakes, the investors, right? Someone who is paying our salaries. So they are stakeholders. So our services should be excellent for customers and stakeholders, whoever it is. So you are giving them a mindset that this is what you are. Finally, once all these technicalities and people management and everything is done, you tell them very little about yourself, and it has to be natural, right? So sometimes you're staying alone and you would like to cook, so you can say I would like to cook, or you could say I'd like to watch movies, and I would like to keep myself fit and active. So here people immediately think that, okay, this guy is health conscious, right? He's oriented in keeping himself fit, which means he will not call in for sick leaves. He is ready to work extra also. He has the strength, he has the energy to do the work. So that is again an impression that the interviewer is getting. Okay, then you will tell more about yourself. You have a growth mindset and a positive attitude. So when they ask you what is growth mindset, what is positive attitude, you can tell them that what kind of a natural person you are, that you are always have an open minded to learn new things, and you have a positive attitude. You never fight, you never get angry, you have a calm mind, you have that mindset of learning, right? And then you tell them I embrace the changes and I accept challenges, right? So this shows that you are not a coward, you don't run away from challenges, you accept it. Okay, and finally you also tell them you take full responsibility of my work, which I believe is required for personal development. So this much is your tell me about yourself story, Venkat. So this is just a brief draft I have made. So what I want you to do is when we meet tomorrow again, I want you to make a clean draft of complete tell me about yourself. So it has to be a maximum of 3 to 4 minutes and not more than that. Okay, because normally people kill the time in tell me about yourself, and the interviewer will not understand anything at the end of the interview. So here make a draft, use this template and make a draft, add more technicalities about your experience and make a complete draft, and tomorrow we can discuss that, and we can go through it, and maybe you can read it out, and then you can tell me that concept of tell me about yourself without looking at the script. Okay, so initially you can look at the script, but then you must by heart it, you must mug it up. Okay, so this is the critical part of it. Okay, so this was tell me about yourself, Venkat. The last thing that I want to tell you okay, is the most important thing is okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think managing directors or CEO of a company does? What do you think they do?
They used to get the business, as well as they used to they helping the employees to grow themselves, also managing. And the CEO also looking at a company growth. Along with company, they want to grow the employees also, giving them a good uh, salaries and appreciations and giving me opportunity to learning more. So that is only they can do it. There is no.
See, all those things, anybody can do it. We don't need a CEO who is being paid, lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So I'll tell you what a job of a CEO is. Okay, so when a CEO comes to office, he will not even check his email. He will have a personal assistant who will check his emails and things like that. So the primary job of a CEO is to come up with ideas, nothing else. That's why he is being paid so much. So if you're hiring a CEO of a company, he is the top notch, right? There's nobody above him, right? He does not report to a manager. He makes decisions, right?
Yes.
So the main reason why any company, not only in a pharma but any company across the world, their job is to come up with ideas and implement those ideas effectively. Okay, so if they can come up with one idea every single day, that is why they are paid so much. And what do they do in their free time if they don't have an idea? Okay, so all the CEOs, what they do is they read a book, and that is the greatest leadership quality. So when is that we read a book? Probably when we were in college writing our final exams, maybe we used to read the books, and then after that coming back to starting work, we completely have forgotten to read, right? So any person who is working in a multinational company, they must always read a book. And when I say read a book, not a story book, not a magazine, not newspapers, all those are entertainment. So like I said earlier, completely cutting off entertainment is very, very important for your personality development. Okay, so I want you to read a book, the 80-20% rule. Okay, so this is a very nice book, 150-200 rupees in Amazon, right? So 80%, 20%. So just go through this book, because 80% of every result has 20% of cause, right? So it's a very good concept. It will help you in your personality, understanding, communication, everything. So a book is not necessarily a story, right? So these are the kind of books that are mainly meant for employees who are working in multinational companies. If you want to have that leadership role, if you want to grow in your career, start reading a book. Okay, so after we are done, I want you to go to Amazon and order this book, right? So just 150-200 rupees, it's no big deal, right? It's a cost of maybe one plate biryani. So but that book will help you in a long term, right? So after you're done reading that book, maybe your wife can read it, and by the time your son grows up, they can read it. Okay, so the name of the book is 80%, 20%. Okay, so just order that book and start reading it, and it will help you. Trust me, the words that they use in that book, the way they frame the sentences, when you read that and when you understand that, it automatically starts giving you ideas, right? So before going to bed, just read 1 page, 2 page, enough, right? So not necessarily you have to finish the book in one day, right? 1 or 2 pages per day. If it has 100 pages, in 2 months you would finish a book, right? So this is exactly what CEO, CFO, center directors, all these people do. They read books. That is the secret, right? Nobody tells you the secret. No CEO will ever say that I read this book and I learnt. No, every successful person reads a book, right? So if you stop reading a book, then it is kind of a pause. We get stuck in at the center stage of our life. So order this book and read it. Okay, so I will stop the recording here, and I will send you the recording as soon as possible.